you haven't heard of HighPivot mountain bikes yet, I want to know what boulder you're living under. But if you haven't ridden one yet, you and I are in the same boat. Recently, I've been looking at getting another new bike, but I don't know if I want to get a HighPivot. But today, that all changes because I've got a plan to steal my mate's bike and put it through the ultimate test. Speed, stability, and fun, but I also want to take a deep dive into the positives and negatives of servicing these bikes and what it's like to actually own one. And if you don't know what HighPivot bikes are, don't worry, I'll explain that soon. But first, let's go and get a bike. This is the only way I can get Nick to give me a bike. Right, now give me a bike. Nick's had his bike for about a year and I know he's very critical. So I had a few questions for him before I left. Would you get a HighPivot again?
Yes.
Because it's a HighPivot? Or...
Because of the way the suspension works.
So what do you hate most about a HighPivot?
There's obviously the weight and the efficiency.
Yeah.
It's added weight and complexity. Just servicing is going to be an issue. You know, you've got more pivots to deal with.
So Nick was able to give me a bit of insight into what I should expect from the bike, but he also kept it a bit mysterious. I think he wants me to see for myself. The bike he's let me borrow is a top-of-the-line Trek Slash with all of the bells and whistles, so I'm extra excited. So while I get ready to go, here's Technical Jake to explain what a HighPivot even does. Yes, this is Technical Jake. You see, on a traditional bike, when you run into a root or rock or anything of the sort, the rear axle moves straight upwards. And for years and years, this has been the way, and it works. But when you move that main pivot up just a little bit, that's when you get a HighPivot. And so when you hit a bump on a HighPivot bike, the rear axle actually moves backwards before it starts moving upwards. And with the forward momentum of the bike, that's actually where the rear wheel wants to go. So you can think of it as the rear wheel getting out of the way quicker. So what does that mean on the trail? Well, there's plenty of bold claims for what HighPivots can do. But the two main ones are, one, I should stick to the ground over all of the rough stuff, which means I can stay in control better, brake better, and essentially ride more confidently and faster. And the second one, which we just heard Nick talk about, is the suspension and how it moves a lot smoother. This is all due to the frame design and it being a HighPivot, but I'm not gonna go into that because that's technical and Technical Jake's about to quit. So I think it's time we put it to the test on the trail. See you out there. All right, let's try Holy Trail. Go. Sick. Through this rock garden. Let's see. How does she feel? Oh, dude, you don't even need to be good at riding to ride this thing. And I'm not, so it's great. Oh yeah. Woo! Across the creek. Oh wow. Nearly lost it. Maybe you're wondering, how does it go on jumps? Let's find out. Good so far. Steep rock roll. Oh yeah. Whew. Yes. Okay, we've done easy tracks. Now it's time to do something a bit harder. We're on the harder trail now. Joined by Aiden, he's gonna show us the way down. Oi, dusty. She's steep, she's scary, she's through. Sick. Here's where the bike's gonna come into its own. Down the rough stuff like that. Yeah, see? Oh, it's so smooth. Oh, I can't believe that. I'm excited to see how it goes down here because this is where my other bike really rattles me to pieces. And this thing, I feel like it's gonna be miles ahead. Whee! Wah! Wow! Oh, my hands are sore. See, it's not my bike, it's just me. Wah! Oh, down he goes. Yeah, this spot will get you.
Mate, and it got me good.
It did. God, it feels so good on, like, look at these bumps. they usually feel like the end of me. But on this, woo! Oh, here we are. Even though my hands are sore, I reckon that's the longest I've ever ridden that trail non-stop. Yeah, boy. Woo! So there you go. I've ridden a HighPivot bike. Now I've got to find some money to buy one. But overall, for speed, I'm going to give it a 9. Stability's going to be a 10. And fun, I think we can go for an 8. I'll see you very soon. Stay steezy.